This episode of Seraph of the Inn can be summarized as two lovers finally reuniting and having that long-awaited kiss. Well, in this case, it's Mika sucking the blood out of you, and Mika becoming a real vampire. So, I'm sorry. This episode was just straight up Mika x you shipping. I'm sorry. You can say whatever you want. That's exactly what this episode was. I'm sorry. It was. All around to the point of having a lover spat. Like, they were straight up arguing like lovers. That's exactly what it was. When you saw how they wanted to make the decision of where they were going to go or run away or something. Like, you know, two lovers running away from their parents. I'm like... I couldn't help but say, like, damn, if you ship the Mika x you ship, you're probably going to be pretty damn happy with this episode. I'm sorry, you probably are, because that's exactly what this episode was, and it's not a bad episode, actually. This episode was pretty damn enjoyable, but there is one thing I want to point out before I get any further into the episode. Majority of today, I think for the past, like, 5 to 6 hours, the episode's audio was out of sync. I hope I'm not the only one that experienced this, but I did see some complaining about it, but I don't know how big of a problem this was. But for some reason, when I sat down to watch Seraph of the Inn this morning, the audio was fucked up. For instance, there was sound, but there was, like, no voice. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, the audio was just fucked. And when I saw them, I'm like, nope, I got like 2 to 3 minutes into the episode, I'm like, I'm not watching this. Like, I'm sorry, I will not watch an episode that is fucked up like that. I won't. I refuse to. I'd rather watch the entirety of it in good quality and then do a review on it. I don't want to do a half-assed review that has, you know, just, you know, no audio, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not. So, I want to ask, like, did that happen to anyone else today? Like, Funimation's site was fucked up. Like, it was bad audio. And I hope I am not the only one that experienced that. But anyways, let's move on. So, Mika and you, they finally reunite, they have their conversation, and we get to see how these two intermingle with each other now in present time. Because it's been a long time since these two have kind of been together, and they're finally able to talk without anyone trying to kill them. For instance, you don't have the vampires trying to kill you don't have the humans trying to kill Mika, or vice versa. You just don't have stuff like that going on in this episode. It's mainly a chillax episode, just taking the time to breathe and allow these two characters to just have a conversation. And it was an enjoyable episode. It was definitely an episode to kind of just show what these two have been through, and also give time for these characters just to have this long-awaited conversation that they've wanted to have for a very long time. And I felt like the way the episode took time to do that, I have really no issues whatsoever. By far, actually, I have to say that Seraph of the Inn, this episode was very enjoyable. Say what you will about Mika x you or whatever, this episode was very enjoyable. I enjoyed this episode quite a bit, just because of how it actually took the time to just put aside everybody else and focused on Mika and you. It just focused on them, because this is something that has been built up since Season 1. Let's face the facts here. Since Season 1, this meetup has been built up. And finally getting to see it, it was a great moment. But, moving in though, Mika and you are moving to the same destination now. They're finally together. The brothers have finally met together, and they're going to go to where the airport is to meet Yu's new family. And I wonder how the humans are going to react to this. Because for one, Mika is a vampire. I mean, humans, let's just say, they're not going to probably really react kindly to Mika. Regardless, if he has the best intentions. He's still a vampire. I wonder how Mika's going to be. Like, I mean, I wonder if he's going to be able to fit in, or are they going to shove him out? Or are they going to have to run away? Because it was implied that maybe Mika, you, and Shinoa and all them, they might have to run away from the humans and vampires to be able to have a life. For instance, not have to worry about, you know, them trying to kill each other. I wonder. I'm really curious about that, if it's going to go down that path. But I do like the dialogue that you said in this episode in the car ride, when he said in the past they wanted to leave that box, for instance, that prison that the vampires had him in as a child. And when they finally left, they lost their entire family. Their family was killed. And he was kind of letting Mika know, like, if we try to run away, that same thing might happen again. There's really no escape. I mean, look at the world. Look at this box we tried to go into. It's a destroyed world. Do you really think that there's anywhere to run to anymore? And so I like that dialogue from you as well in this episode. Probably one of the best parts of the episode was that line in general. But yeah, I mean, Seraph of the End, Season 2 this week, a fairly simple episode. I mean, there's not really much to talk about. I mean, I could talk about some jokes and stuff, but I mean, episode, very simple. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.